Welcome to Linda's TV show. If it is your first time of stopping by, you are highly welcome. Please, I beg you for this favor, click on that red button that says subscribe, and beside it is a notification bell. Turn the bell on. It's very important, as it enables you to know when I upload a new video, so that you will be the first person to check it out. I bring to you information about the globe, especially Nigeria to be precise. Now today I'm going to present to you another interesting video, as we will listen and watch the video together. Let us watch.
Democracy in action, the president agreeing to indeed address the nation via the National Assembly. You can liken it to State of the Union address. A lot of questions begging for answers from the president, especially on the state of security, or some people will say insecurity in Nigeria. Pressures on the president to take radical actions to take our country back from bandits, from terrorists, from abductors, kidnappers, armed robbers, name it. So on our discussions today, we shall be talking of the state of the Nigerian Union, the president's proposed trip to the National Assembly, and of course the general state of affairs in the country, in a black nation, the largest in the whole world, that is facing serious economic and security challenges. My guest is Shehu Mardi. Shehu Mardi is a businessman and chairman CEO of Dialogue Group of Companies, an activist and medical practitioner from Katsina State, one of the states ravaged by banditry, happens to also be President Muhammad Buhari's home state. Before we get to our discussions, let's quickly take you through some other developments across Nigeria. It is said that in a democracy, how you gauge its strength is when the government fears the people, when it respects the people, when it becomes cautious in the way it relates with the people. Have we gotten to that in Nigeria based on the apprehension across the government when news broke out that NSAS protesters are planning to hit the streets again? Before now, in Nigeria, the people have always been afraid of the government. But with the NSAS protests, the people sent out a very powerful, strong message that there's an extent to which they can allow impunity reign. And the president, while acknowledging yesterday that the citizens have rights to protest, he's also using what many consider as military language in warning those that may want to foment trouble, that he will deal decisively with them, those that want to take the guise of a peaceful protest to foment trouble. Well, I recall the last time a military government used the word decisively, late Sani Abacha reminding Nigerians that any attempt to test the will of the government will be decisively dealt with. Now, why did the president choose to use that word? It is to send a very strong message. He was speaking when he virtually commissioned or flagged off the Chief of Army Staff's annual conference.
Protests, which were sadly hijacked by hooligans to cause wanton damage to lives and property in many cities across the country. I want to reiterate our government's commitment to the rights of citizens to embark on peaceful protests. However, this must be done responsibly and in accordance with the laws of the land. I also wish to state that any act of hooliganism behind lawful and peaceful protests will be dealt with decisively to ensure the peace and stability of our nation. On this note,
okay. Some youths, NSAS protesters in Osogbo, Osun State, defied threat by security agencies to stage an NSAS protest opposite the government house in Osogbo on Monday. Some citizens are saying perhaps the country cannot afford a fresh round of protests now, but in all this, the rights of the citizen, just as the president acknowledged, to protest cannot be taken away, not even by a presidential pronouncement, as long as it is peacefully done. Okay, the United States has again designated Nigeria and some countries such as Burma, China, Iran, Eritrea, Pakistan as countries of concern under the International Religious Freedom Act of 1998 for engaging systematic, ongoing, egregious religious freedom violations. This is the second time in a row that the U.S. has designated Nigeria as a country of particular concern. The implication is that the U.S. sees the Nigerian government as tolerating violence and discriminations against citizens due to their religious beliefs. The U.S. says this nation encourage in one form or the other, that's their government, discrimination based on religious beliefs. A lot of experts have pointed at what has happened to the Shiites in Nigeria, the way the security agencies reportedly killed hundreds of them, and some other incidences in the country as the reason why the U.S. Lumped Nigeria for the second year running into this category of nations set to facing the country, and he will be preferring solutions. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
You're a fierce critic of the president. You've not minced words in being critical of the administration. You're from Katsina State, and people believe it's unusual. And there are more people now coming out, those that are seen to be allies and supporters of the president, coming out now to become more critical of his administration. How did we get to this point?
Let me say just, I thank God Almighty for seeing me alive at this moment, in this hour, in this studio, to discuss national issues. But let me correct you that I am not critical of the president. I am critical of issues.
So you're a social critic?
Based on trends, perspectives, issues on ground, promises on the platform of democracy. That's what democracy is all about. It is about having alternative views. It's about having first, second, third, endless views from all angles. That is the beauty of democracy. And I keep on saying that if any Democrat in Nigeria feels offended anytime somebody criticizes him, please, he has no business being in the democratic space. He should go home, he should resign. Criticism, observations, especially valid and tangible ones, are part and parcel of democracy. Anybody wishing those things away is living in denial, is dreaming, is in slumber, and before he says Jack Robinson, his feet will be swept off.
Are there consequences in Nigeria for social critics such as you? You talk about your safety.
I am a living witness. I will tell you that I have been in detention for the last 11 days. I just got released yesterday in the night under the able custody of the IGP, the Inspector of Police.
Is it the police as an institution or the Inspector General of Police?
Of course, he personifies the police. He is the Alpha and Omega. The ball stops on the table there. Therefore, he incarcerated me illegally, unlawfully, for 11 days. But let me give you...
Have you challenged that in court?
It is being challenged. But let me give you the build-up. The build-up is the moment I saw Mr. President signing the whistleblowing executive order, I said, there we are. Now we are sure we can fight corruption. But I said, from the word go, I am not a reward-seeking whistleblower. I am a non-commercial whistleblower. I had hard facts.
That means you don't blow whistle for the gains that are
I don't need a single kobo.
For the love of the nation.
Not only for the love of the nation, but so that we can build a solid and virile nation where smart Alex will not take advantage of the treasury and go scot-free. On that basis, in addition to fully understanding my civic, civil, constitutional, and moral responsibilities, together with the executive order on whistleblowing, I said I will go full-blown. And I said there is no better place to go full-blown than Mr. President State, Katsina State. I am a bona fide citizen of Katsina State. I therefore started reeling out. What was I saying? I said, Mr. President, sir, with full knowledge of Amini Bello Masari, the governor that you marketed for us, the governor that you promoted and projected for us to elect, and the governor we elected believing that you wouldn't give us a rotten egg, has connived and is still conniving to empty the treasury of Katsina. And I give an example. I give an example.
Now, did you send us this as a petition to the anti-corruption?
Just hold it, I did. I said, Mr. President, you have your residence in Daura, even before you became the president, on the authority of authentic documents in my own possession. The secretary to the government, in collaboration with the governor, have been authoring one memo after another memo for 59 months, claiming that Katsina State government is paying for the security operatives that are guarding your house in Daura. And they said every month they have deployed 30 civil defense, 22 policemen, 12 DSS, and 2 senior military officer supervisors.
Where did you channel this petition?
And every month this money is being collected. And I ask, Mr. President, are you aware? If you are not aware,
is it a letter you wrote to the president or you
Mr. President, if you are not aware, be aware that this money running into hundreds of millions of naira are being removed in the name of guarding your house in Daura. That is whistleblowing. Number 2, I said
let's get it clear. You sent a letter to the president.
See, hold on. There are agencies that are responsible for investigating these issues. You don't need to go to the president. You can go to ICPC. You can go to EFCC.
Which one did
I
you
have
go
gone
to?
to EFCC.
Okay, the EFCC.
I have 9 filed petitions now being investigated by EFCC.
So the EFCC is investigating those petitions.
Yes, and I said also, one cashier in Katsina State government, Masaudi Sanda, a cashier formerly with the SSG, who came back to Ministry for Local Government, has collected 13 billion naira in cash.
We want to go into these allegations.
No, hold on. A cashier has collected 13 billion naira in cash.
So much on
in utter disregard to all the financial regulatory
Let's not trade so much on the allegations.
Go ahead.
Good enough. It's before the anti-corruption agencies.
Yes.
They are allegations, clearly allegations.
Yes.
So if they investigate and find prima facie evidence, then they can take action. But is that why you were arrested?
The reason why I was arrested was simply, as I said, monies totaling 62 billion naira have been misapplied, misspent, criminally stolen outrightly in the name of security in Katsina State over 59 months. And on account of that, today as I'm talking to you, 8 local governments have been taken over completely by bandits.
In Katsina
State, I stand to be corrected. Open the telephone. 8 local governments have been taken over by bandits. The residents of those local governments have migrated into various parts of Katsina State, begging and sleeping in filling stations because they have been taken and sent away from the rehabilitation, from the destitution center.
That's your own perception of this.
It's not perception, please. If you have been reading the news, Katsina has been in the bad news for the last 1.5 years, especially, and for the last 4 years continuously. And I said, this 62 billion naira is being outrightly stolen in the name of who? In the name of the IG and the Nigerian police.
Okay.
In the name of DSS and the Nigerian army.
Let's leave the allegations. Let's not preempt the investigative powers of the EFCC.
What I'm saying is, Mr. IG, if I am wrong, please call me. DGSSS, if I am wrong.
Did they find your petition baseless? Is that why you were arrested?
I wouldn't know if I am the IG or I am the chief of army staff or chief of air staff. If somebody were to come on the air, as I did, to say that somebody somewhere somehow is using the name of my institution to steal money, I don't need to sleep for a day. I will call that person, please make available to me documents relating to these allegations, because I will be sleeping off if I don't act. But in their best of wisdom, what I saw is a conspiracy of silence. Nobody is willing to talk. My arrest, what it did to me was it emboldened me. It made me more courageous. If anybody is thinking that by arresting me, he has cowed me, he has greatly miscalculated.
So what are the implications on the whistleblowers policy? We were waiting for the National Assembly to pass the whistleblowers law. It has not come. And after so much movement, so much talk about the policy, it appears it has died.
Presidential executive order is a law unto itself. Even without the National Assembly passing it. It's an order. It's a law unto itself. And I relied heavily, completely, entirely, blindly, but I think stupidly, on that executive order to do what I am doing, thinking that it was correct.
So we need a law, an enabling law to back it up.
You know, in African Palace, we were told in Tales by the Moonlight that if you hear a voice in the bush telling you, come, 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 take the opposite, begin to run with the fastest speed. And if you hear a voice saying that, run, 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 it means come closer. Maybe I didn't read the executive order correctly. Maybe I didn't understand it correctly. Maybe I misconstrued it. Maybe I was naive. Maybe I was even stupid. But stupid or naive or whatever it is, I will remain on this whistleblowing for life. Okay. And I will ensure that I make it an additional article of faith to ensure that smart Alex who are stealing money in Katsina State go to jail sooner or later. You made
one very serious statement here that 8 local governments in Katsina State under the control of bandits.
I repeat that.
How will you justify that?
Unequivocally.
We get to hear of reports of banditry in some parts of Katsina, but what you're saying is in complete control.
People who are watching you now will be laughing at you that perhaps you have nothing to do with the North. You don't read the news in the North. You don't even explore the internet. Just go on the internet now and see what are the number of local governments taking over by the Katsina State such. You will see them. Sabwa, Musa, Jibia, Basari, name them, they are 8. Taken over completely by bandits. Residents in those local governments don't sleep at all. They have deserted their houses. Houses burnt down. Schools destroyed. Nothing. They are living by the grace of God.
I know the governor. Your governor has come to the Asoro Presidential Villa several times asking for federal support to deal with this banditry. But I know Katsina is not the only one affected. Almost the entire Northwest, up to even Niger State.
Other than Maiduguri, Borno State, there is no state so severely devastated by banditry, by kidnapping, by arson, by maiming, and by looting of public treasury. No state other than Borno State is worse than Katsina. What is happening in Katsina now is everybody is on his own God for us, all survival of the fittest, and the devil take the hindermost. We are being governed as if we are in the animal kingdom. We are being governed as if there are no existing
better off than Zamfara, that many believe is the epicenter of banditry?
Well, Zamfara, somebody can come and analyze Zamfara for you. But for me, my immediate priority is the life and the living, pathetic as it is, of the people of Katsina State in its entirety. We are under siege.
There are military, new military divisions or brigade in Zamfara. There is a military operation in the northwest.
And Katsina there is.
Yes, so yeah, that includes the Katsina.
Yes.
How successful have been these efforts to put down the bandits?
I think it is better you call the army staff on this chair and ask him. Last week, Mr. President said he has given the security agencies all they require to succeed in fighting. I'm sure you heard about it.
Absolutely.
The Chief of Army Staff, Chief of Air Staff, IG of Police should be able to come on this platform and tell you what is going on. Have they gotten what they require? Do they have the moral and the physical capacity to face these challenges? What are their impediments? Are they tired? Have they lost ideas? Ask them this question. Let Nigerians know what is happening with the trillions of money spent over the last 6 years in the name of fighting security.
The governor of Borno State, Mohammed Babagana Zulum, talked of mercenaries coming in to help the Nigerian security forces. Do we share that view, especially with banditry in the northwest?
If mercenaries imported from any part of the world are the solution, so be it. We are tired of harvesting death. We are tired of harvesting death by the minute, by the hour, by the day, by the week, all year through. Let mercenaries come in, give them whatever money they require, and bring this nonsense to a total stop.
But within us, are there things we could do in the interim? I know,
as individuals or as what?
Terrorism, banditry is an international crime.
Let me tell you one thing.
To go into some arrangement with neighbors.
Security is everybody's business in Nigeria. These kidnappers, these armed robbers, these bandits are very well known in every community. They are being shielded by their parents, by their friends, by their neighbors, out of fear, out of greed, or because they share the loot arising from that crime. If you don't talk about insecurity in your location and you know the person responsible, if I don't, if she doesn't do, if they don't do, you don't expect any success in fighting insecurity. It is everybody's business. It is my business, your business, their business, everybody's business to contribute his own quota, silently or loudly, in ensuring that we defeat this evil that has made it impossible for Nigeria to progress and run into the 21st century with their legs. We are still crawling.
And it's not good for our socio-economic development. A lot of people raising their voice on this situation, especially in northern Nigeria. And they said, for instance, it didn't start today, that we saw the build-up, the long period of neglect of people, the ordinary people. Are these not some of the remote causes?
No. When you take the history of Nigeria, from the very beginning, when we were amalgamated, to the very beginning we became a nation, we got it altogether wrong. You bring in people of different culture, different beliefs, different socialization, different milieu, different outlooks, merge them together by force to form a nation. Only the initial builders of Nigeria had a clear vision and a mission, devoid of any sentiment. Soon thereafter, it became clear that it was a wrong union. It was a union that was not properly negotiated. We could have remained a great country if we had isolated our own identities, peculiarities, culture, while contributing to build a nation just like America. But we ended up having people from one generation, one set of leaders to another, everybody coming with a vision and a mission, and destroy the previous ones he made, even if they are good, because they are put in place by an imaginary enemy. Secondly, we have a nation where we celebrate criminals. It is only in Nigeria that somebody will clearly steal and loot hugely from the public treasury, and then after some times you see him receiving national honors, you see him being given chieftaincy titles, you see him being called king, prince, or an emir. that is an indicator that we are yet to be there. We also have a complacent followership, a followership that is satisfied with collecting 500 naira to vote, 1,000 naira to vote, a bar of soap, a tin of milk. On that basis, he surrenders his franchise. It means we are not conscious of our civic duties and responsibilities as a nation. Majority of the common people that are complaining now are also contributing to the destruction of the country in collaboration with the colleagues of the elites. While the elites are losing the treasury, they are hailing them. Today, if a northerner were to be caught stealing 10 billion naira and he is taken to court, believe me honestly, you will see northern organizations, northern elites, some of them saying that he is being persecuted because he's a northerner, because he's a Muslim.
We also saw in southern Nigeria.
We had such an incident. I can give you, if you give me time, a former managing director of a bank in Nigeria, in northern Nigeria, in between his wife, his house girl, his younger brother, himself, stole 3 billion naira directly from shareholders' money.
Allegedly.
Yeah, no. Just wait. He was taken to court. And he appeared only once. Before the next adjournment date, two prominent Islamic scholars, a member of Jama'at al-Nasr al-Islam, and an elder went and visited the president, interceded on his own behalf. By the next adjournment date, the Attorney General entered a nolle prosequi in his own favor. 4 years after,
and that was the end of the case.
4 years after, I saw his name with OON, without being extended presidential prerogative of mercy, without degazetting his name until they degazetted them. I still have the gazette. He has not been degazetted. 9 years after, another governor from South, maybe he was looking for GCON because this one was giving OON for stealing 3 billion naira. That southern state governor stole 30 billion naira. He was also charged to court. South Elders Forum, members of the Christian Association of Nigeria, Secretary General of Khan visited Mr. President in the villa. I still have the video on NTA. They said, Mr. President, our son being persecuted. The money said to have been stolen by him. Does that money belong to the federal government or to the state government? And the president said, the money belongs to him. They said, he is our son, we have forgiven him. And that was the end of the story. As if Islam and Christianity is about stealing and looting the public treasury. Until we dispose of this mentality of using religion to intimidate government and to other people, we have a very, very long way to go. We must not wear the face of Moses and hang the heart of Pharaoh if we want this country to grow.
Okay, we'll go on a break. We have seen a situation where poverty in the country is growing in leaps and bounds.
That's right.
In terms of percentages, we are the most poverty-stricken in the world. Yeah. And this trend is continuing. Every 1 minute, 6 persons are pushed into poverty in Nigeria. Elsewhere in India, Brazil, they are pulling people out of poverty. But we are pushing people into poverty. And you believe the elite connivance is behind this?
Yeah, in addition to contradictory, difficult to understand economic policies. Like if you pick the Nigerian, if they ask you to define what are the policies guiding the Nigerian economy, my take will be Nigerian economic policies have multiple colors. If you see them as white in the morning, by mid-afternoon they turn into black. By evening they are into maroon. In the night they turn gray. By the following morning, if you are alive, it will look like rainbow with multiple colors. We have people who are contradictory in their talking and in their implementation in managing our economy. We are people who have agreed sentiments and personal greed to descend into the arena of managing the economy, such that there is nothing to pinpoint at that you are targeting for the next 10 years. We have no master plan. We have only the personal plan of the personal individuals who are managing the economy. They are busy competing, just like in the military now. If there had been synergy and harmony in the military, in the Air Force, and in security agencies, there would have been tremendous success in fighting what we are facing today. But when you find security agencies are competing to undermine each other, They are competing to underreport each other. They are concealing information which should have been shared. They are virtually at physical war with each other. There is no way you can succeed. In the same manner, those who are managing our economy are busy at war, silently and loudly. They are busy doing what they think will benefit them after leaving office, and even while they are still in office.
Personal aggrandizement.
Yes, with that mentality, there is no way you can build a nation. There is no way you can build a country, because you don't build a country based on sentiments. You don't.
We'll come back to this point. Just a quick stop over at our Twitter feed. Trinity says he checked the internet to authenticate your postulations that 8 local government areas of Katsina State are under bandits' control. He says you're not correct. He actually saw 9 local governments instead of 8 under the control of bandits.
Thank you very much.
Also checked.
Thank you.
According to a Business Day newspaper report of August 2000, August 5, the quote actually came from the governor of Katsina State,
Fantastic.
telling State House correspondents that 9 local governments area then are under the control of bandits. It could be more, it could be less.
I am more educated now. I will be quoting 9.
It could be more, it could be less. But back to your the point you were making. That personal aggrandizement to steal, to loot, to indeed
to pauperize.
Yeah, and in the process pauperizing.
Yes.
The rest of the citizens, the bulk of the citizens, is a major challenge and a major contributory factor to high poverty rate in the country.
Do you know why? Because people go under religious umbrella to steal. I could remember of recent, monies were traced to a former governor in the northern Nigeria into billions of naira. When he was being interrogated, he said the money was given to him for what? For prayers. 3 billion naira. For prayers for peace and tranquility to return into Nigeria. You're aware of this. You've also seen where money was traced to a huge church in Nigeria, stolen money by a bank staff and stolen money from the public treasury. If religious institutions will allow their platforms to be used in laundering money, then it means God save Nigeria, because that would have been the last place you expect looting and harboring of looted funds.
Okay, from our Twitter feed, Mohammed Oba says, you're speaking out of frustration. Mark Don says, God bless your guest, Sheikh Humadi. He said, nothing but absolute truth. Nigeria is not yet ready in fighting insecurity, with all being listed. Is it a sense of frustration that you're displaying?
I am a successful person, very successful in my private and public life. I lack nothing. I thank God for that. Frustration always comes when you have nothing to fall back on. I am a happy person, fully oriented to time, people, and places. I lack nothing. I am focused and I know what I want. People who are frustrated don't have this background. That's my response.
Okay. Now, how do we begin to get leaders into elective offices? But before then, there's this question on our Twitter feed. Your perspective on restructuring.
We should restructure Nigeria completely, entirely, holistically, in such a way that everybody will feel secured, everybody will feel at home. If you read the Greek history, they have this philosophy of how do you build a nation? And they said, there are 3 sets of people in any given country. And they mentioned them. A set called fools, another set called tribalists, another set called the citizens. And they said a fool in every country, every society, is that person who thinks only about himself, who dream only about himself, who plan only for himself. For a fool, anybody can go to blazes as long as he can remain secure, as long as he can remain contented and comfortable. To hell with each other person other than that fool. The second one is the tribalist. A tribalist is somebody who thinks only about his tribe. Let every other tribe go into extinction. To hell with that tribe. He only feels secure when his tribe is secure. And he only thinks about his tribe. A citizen is somebody who thinks about others before himself. Is somebody who feels a pain when other people are in pain, even if he doesn't know them. Is somebody who plans for the comfort of other people before planning for his own comfort. And the Greeks said, in a country where you have preponderance of fools and tribalists, and less of citizens, there is no way you can build that nation to any level. They said only the presence and preponderance of more of citizens will build a nation. And the answer I'm going to ask you is rhetorical. The question is rhetorical. In Nigeria, do we have more citizens or more of fools and more of tribalists? We should begin to contemplate on this.
How do we get more citizens?
When you get more citizens, it's that time when everybody believes whatever you say you are going to do as a leader. Everybody believes that you came on board on the city you're occupying through fair, just, and credible election. Everybody believes that you are not going to display a policy of being an individual that only cares about himself and the immediate members of his family. If you see a governor coming as a pauper, and before you say Jack Robinson, he's building houses all over, buying over all lands, buying properties everywhere, that is a leader that is making it impossible to have more of citizens in his own state and in his own country. But where you have a selfless leader, selfless in the real sense of the word, who is striving day in, day out to ensure that he cushions the effects of the pains of his people. He develops them, he helps them, he consults them, and he takes inputs from them. That's the leader that is likely more to produce citizens that will help him in building the state or in building the nation. But where you find leaders who hate to be criticized, who hate opinions, who think they are small gods in their local, state or federal levels, who think they are there to do as they wish, who think nobody should call them to order, that is when you will have more fools, more tribalists, less of citizens, resultant of which you will have chaos, dislocation, harvesting death, melancholy, and every other negative thing that doesn't allow countries or states to grow.
Now, you talked of restructuring.
Yes.
The National Assembly is presently in the process, both chambers, though there are complaints of inadequate funding for the committees to do the work. But there are some groups that are saying that is a perennial process that wastes our little scarce resources, that perhaps we could achieve this by way of a new constitution, getting the people involved via referendum.
You see, let me just be straightforward to you. The first point of restructuring in Nigeria is the National Assembly. We have no business having permanent senators. We have no business having permanent members of the House.
That's part-time.
They should go on part-time like it operates in other nations. But where you find more than 30% of the budget is meant to service less than 500 people, all will never be well. We don't want a situation whereby the aim of everybody is to go to the National Assembly, not only for the money they get there, but for the power they exert on the executive.
Is it restricted to the high cost of running government? Is it restricted to the parliament? Because the National Assembly always tell you that they get less than 3% of our annual budget.
Please, it is not true. They are being dishonest in wholesale and retail. The truth is that they are one of the biggest problems confronting the Nigerian democracy. And unless we do away with them for that long, you can call restructuring by whatever name.
If you say it's not true that they get less than 3%, they get 125 billion, 150 billion of a 13 trillion budget. If you do the mathematics, it's less than 3%.
If head of MDAs in Nigeria who are watching this program are going to be honest to themselves, they should tell you how much do they part with as a direct bribe under coercive power of the National Assembly for their budgets to be passed. They should be honest.
Okay, we are talking about budgetary allocation.
Yes.
But you're talking about illicit
They
funds
are
now.
all interrelated, interwoven in one place. It only throws into draining the treasury of Nigeria. Secondly, the power revolving around the office of the president is one of the reasons why the country will continue to be tensed. The power is too much, too concentrated, that if care is not taken, the moment you have that power, you have a small god there in invited commas. Make that office extremely unattractive. Go back to the regions, devolve power, substantial power to the regions, and allow the center to manage just a minute amount of the democratic structures in Nigeria, such that nobody is no more attracted to the office of the president, where you need billions of naira to emerge as the president, where you dish out handouts at the time you want to the people you want, irrespective of whether they are qualified or competent or not. You also shred down the power of the governors. Take those powers back to the local governments. Because as it is now, like in my own state, in 59 months, up to the end of November this year, 294 billion naira went into the so-called state local government joint account. But today, I am here, I'm putting a challenge. Give me one single local government in Katsina state, there are 34, where you have a 100 million naira standing project. 100 million, not 1 billion naira, 100 million, with an inflow from the Federation account of 294 billion naira at the end of November 2020. Why? Because the money has been hijacked. The entire money is housed in Access Bank. Who has declared, they say, is joint account. No local government chairman signs that account. That account is being signed by the Accountant General and 2 other officials of the state government, in total exclusion of all the local government councils.
Well, these are your findings. These are your
findings.
Allegations. They are not factual. They are allegations.
Let anybody take me to court on account of these allegations.
We'll try to verify this. There are allegations, and I restate there are allegations. But as a whistleblower, you have the right to raise some of these issues. But why are we showing cold feet in restructuring this country when we see that there are problems, many of them facing us, and that restructuring may indeed go a long way in result? Why are we developing?
It is the captains of industries that have invested so much of their money in quote. It is the political gladiators that believe that the moment there is restructuring, their days will be counted. These are the people who are instilling fear into the minds and psyche of people not to agree for restructuring. But for me, restructuring should be yesterday, not even today. I'm in a hurry to see regions having so much power to themselves. I'm waiting for a day where my local government will be able to have a local government police. My state government will be able to have a state government police, contributing, if they like, to the federal police at will.
That's the 1963 Constitution.
That's right, so be it. If that will be the solution to banditry, to kidnapping, to arson, to murder, to poverty, to people being posted into permanent economic husbandry by a small clique, cattle and cabal of heartless people, so be it. We don't need a new constitution. Let us go back to a constitution that gives regions autonomous, independent, substantial power to operate within their own peculiarities.
It's just that then we have regions now, 4 regions under the 1963 Constitution.
We can have additional 2.
Now we have
we can have even 10. Or we can even merge our states. We can merge our states at convenience on negotiation to create a region. It's very possible. Some of the states are extremely homogeneous that it takes only a day or 2 or 3 for them to come on the table, agree on how they survive, and merge into a region to make cost of governance much, much less than it is being done now. Restructuring is the answer. If we don't do it now, our children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren may not have a country called Nigeria.
The ball rests on the National Assembly. The responsibility for now rests on them.
National Assembly will never restructure Nigeria because they are the biggest beneficiary of the confusion taking place now. They have the absolute power to summon anybody. They have just summoned the president now to the House of Reps, and he's going there. They can call anybody at will. They can blackmail you if they like. They can cajole you. They can intimidate you, simply because they have that absolute power in the Constitution.
Unity. Lance says you're making the northern establishment hearts ache with the expose. He says locals have decided to defend themselves in Zamfara, just as the governor has also decided to recruit some persons into an informal security arrangement. In one sentence, or in 1 minute rather, what message for Nigeria, for banditry in your state and across the northwest?
Well, for Nigeria at large, the message is that in spite of the turmoil we are going through, in spite of the trauma, in spite of the melancholy, we have no other country other than Nigeria. Stand up, know and discharge your civic, civil and constitutional responsibilities and duties. Don't be intimidated, don't be cowed. Don't be induced, because if you accept inducement or intimidation, it means you are -1, you can't contribute, and those who want to destroy Nigeria are looking for people like you who don't have the courage and the guts and the audacity to see it as it is. For my state Nigeria, for my state Katsina, I thank Allah for being Mahdi, for being what I am. Mahdi is out from an unlawful illegal detention, more committed to saving you, with more resolutions, with extra guts, extra courage, extra audacity to tell you those people who have been taking advantage of you, in spite of reposing your confidence and your trust into them.
Okay.
And to advise you that elections are coming. Ensure that you renew your voter's card.
And
exercise your franchise.
Yes, because
and
in
vote,
the by-elections we had over last weekend, 9% voted out on our 12%.
Because of apathy. In fact, in Bauko local government, there was no election. There was just voting.
Okay, Sheikh Mahdi is a businessman and accountant. He says he's also a non-commercial whistleblower and a rights activist. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you very much.
Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time or first day of coming across my YouTube channel or seeing my face, you are highly welcome. Please willkommen zu meinem Kanal. My name is Linda Chukwuezi. It coming as Miguel. That red button that says subscribe, and you turn on the notification bell so that you'll be able to get information on the.
Bis zum nächsten Video und einen schönen Tag. Tschüss.
Tschüss. Bis man subscribe to Linda's TV show. What are you waiting for? Click on that red button that says subscribe. You turn on the notification bell so that you'll be getting more updates from me. Leave your comment down below and share this video with your friends, families, and colleagues until we meet again in my next video. Bye bye.